So friend, today we'll see how to name different variables and how to call function in Excel. See, as such you may not name a variable because what Excel does generally is when suppose you add some data and if you give reference, it goes by the reference of the uh, alpha and numeric uh, value. So J9 refers to 3. But then in many instances we would like to refer this as some variable that will be more appreciating by engineers, by the user. So say for example we would like to find out Reynolds number. In that case we will be happy if we know, if we see something like du rho upon mu, rather than j9 into j10 into j11 and all. So can we define that way? So there is a possibility that in Excel you define the names, say for example d row and mu, and I define some value, say for example 1 some unit, 1.1 some unit and zero point 0.8. And sorry, let us put this as u, which is velocity, and this is at rho. So we may keep velocity a bit higher and this be 0.1. Now if I want to define this, what I need to do is I need to select this and I have to go to yeah, I have to go to formulas, and where you have a name manager and you can define name, create from selection. So we have, say for example we have to first select it. Let's say we select this and we go to create from selection, and Excel will give you, depending upon the input, it gives you left column. So left column means our du, mu and rho. So we press ok, and then if I write here d, I'll get 1. So now if I want to define Reynolds number, I may say d and into u into du rho upon mu. So this gives me Reynolds number. So this is, even if I want to read it, I'm able to read it in a proper way. It's more of a chemical engineering kind, rather than reading it as J9 into like J12 into J13 into J14 upon J15. So this is how you can define names in Excel, and this defining name also serves other purpose, wherein you need to use some lookup functions. We'll see this as we proceed further. So this is one basic thing which you should know when you try to solve a problem, when you try to write a code. I think it is a good practice to write, define names. It's not necessary, but it will naturally, make the things easier when you want to read it. Then comes calling a function. Now see, there are various functions in Excel, starting from, let's say for example, you go to this and you click here, say for example this, and there are a whole lot of functions. So default Excel will list most recently used. Otherwise you can jump to any. All are this. It can be financial, it can be mathematical, it can be statistical, it can be logical. So there are so many functions, and every function when you want to invoke, you just have to click that function and press OK. So let's go to most recently used, the one which I have used recently, right? So say for example I want to get a transpose of some particular data, say this. Fine, so I'll go to insert function and I'll go to this, press OK. So the array which I would like to put is this, right? And I had to, in fact I need to select maybe some range of cells. Yeah, I'll have to select the range of cells first, that is 4, so 1 2 3 4, and then I insert a function that is transpose, press OK, select the array and press OK. insert function and press, I think, Control Shift. Yeah, I have to press it like any array. If I want to use in Excel, I have to press Control Shift and enter, otherwise it will not accept that as an array. So if I take a simpler function, say for example, let's take a mathematical function, absolute of a number. So suppose if I have a some data, say for example I have 3 4 minus 5 minus 34 20, and I want to find out the say for example I have another data which absolute value of this. So this I can invoke as insert function absolute, the number which I try to take is this, and I press OK, and then if I just drag it, you'll see that it gives me the absolute value. So any function which I would like to use, I can just invoke it, or if I know directly how to use it, I'll just put absolute and some value, say for example -5, and I get it. So you can use number of functions which are associated with Excel, and as and when required we will learn some of them. Some of them you can just find out by as and when it is required. So you can call number of functions inbuilt. Two important inbuilt functions available in Excel are goal-seek and solver. So they are available in data, what-if analysis. You go to goal-seek, and this is what it will generate. Now in goal-seek you have to set some cell, like it seeks a goal by changing some value. Often in chemical engineering or in engineering, we come across a situation wherein we have to solve a problem of single variable nonlinear model. So say for example finding out volume using van der Waals equation of state, or maybe solving a friction factor, right, given some iterative method. So there we generally use Newton-Raphson method or any single variable nonlinear model. Now what does Excel do is, say for example, this is what you are supposed to find. You are supposed to find volume. When you make a function which is f equals to 0, so that becomes your cell. You have to set that to a value, whatever value you want, and you have to change a variable. So this is goal-seek. We'll take a separate lesson on goal-seek. And similarly, there is one more thing which is called as a solver. Solver can help you in solving multiple non-variable non-linear equations. So you can change number of variables, and solver can also help you to minimize or maximize a function. That is, it can help you in optimizing a specific function. So we'll talk about goal-seek and solver. These two are going to be very much helpful to us when it comes to solving engineering problems. Another very important feature of Excel is under developer head, wherein you can use this record macro. Macro is something which will record every step which we are performing in Excel. So you can start recording a macro and you can perform certain things. Say for example, if I give you the example, what happens is, say for example I go and start recording a macro. So I start that, and what I do is I copy this and I paste it as a value with transpose. Right, now suppose I stop recording macro, right? So that macro falls under here. Now suppose if I change this value, say for example from 1 it becomes 2, then this becomes 5, and this becomes 0.9, and this becomes 1.3, and this is where I have copied and pasted it. So if I go to macro and if I run it, you just see that I don't need to copy and paste it here. Whatever I did, it has been done by Excel. So I can use this when I want to repeatedly do certain things, right? We'll see about macro as we proceed further. Macro can be attached to some forms, right? And and we can add these forms from this insert. Now this under developer head, this insert, what you can do is, say for example there are various forms, say for example we take this. So you know there is a button which can increase or decrease a specific value. So associated things, you can go to this format control. Say for example I will put current value as 10, right, and minimum value 0, maximum value this, increment this, and I have to give cell link. Cell link is something wherein this values would be stored. So suppose if I want to keep it, that cell value is A14, and I press OK. So you can just see that it has come to current value. When I click this, it increases. When I click this, it decreases. Now when I want to see the effect of a specific variable, I can put this will, you know, articulate your programs. And the other part is you can move this over this, so the user don't know where the values are going, right? Similarly, you can make some buttons. So you can make some, you know, say for example this, you can make this as a kind of button, and you know, give a name, you know, transpose, and you can attach macro to that. So yeah, you can make it to transpose, and let's say I change these values 3 and 10 and 2 and 30, and you see when I press this happens, right? You have to concentrate here, this portion. I'll make changes 5, 12, 5, 30, and when I press this, it will run the macro. So when I press this, the values would change here, you just see, right? So this is how you can link macro with this. So we'll use all this, and by using all this, we will be able to make our program more user friendly. So this gives a basic usage of Excel, and we'll try to, you know, explore as much as I can. As I've been telling you, Excel is something which you can explore to a very, you know, great level. So explore on your own, and I think you can come up with some more such, you know, inbuilt capacity of Excel and use to the max of that, right? Okay, thank you.